a few days ago, somebody commented, like, of course, I have been getting all the comments like these, the long ones. But, in all these comments, of course, I do reply to all of you. But there was somebody who asked me that, do you think people like us can make it? Do you think that, we can do what you are doing right now? Do you think this? Do you think that? And I thought, let me just, because, of course, I do answer, because of course, people are agreeing with, the above comment, and then people are asking. And again, someone is saying that, that he's about to become an agent, and then I think in one of the videos, I think he passed his journey and then he became an agent. And I think day before yesterday, that's when he mentioned that, if only this video could have come early, he would have not lost the sale or something. And then somebody chipped in and, he actually motivated him. I don't know the person's name, but as far as I remember, yes, he was Abdul or somebody who had actually, chipped in, and he progressed him. He actually encouraged him that it's okay. You will get new customers and everything. So, what I'm trying to tell you is that today I am basically going to talk about the trap that you face between your first sale and the first breakthrough, and a lot of things that happens in between. So put on your seats belt, and we are going to enter into a very good, enticing video. Let's see. Hi people, welcome back to your channel Dreamport Journey with Arpita. This is your host, and like I mentioned, we are going to talk about the trap that we all go through, the various traps that we go through before we have that first sale or the first breakthrough. And a lot of things that happens in between. But my whole purpose of making this video right now, when we are on the series 3, episode 6 and 7, because this is where I think this is the right time for y'all to understand what's going to happen next, and how y'all can connect the dots together. I am thankful for my audience, for people who are taking time to comment, and you guys are writing such huge comments that it's giving me room, it's giving me more meaning to bring more meaningful content for you guys, because I see a lot of people progressing, just by watching the videos. Y'all have learned a lot about the content, and y'all are going with full confidence on the floor, and that's the change I want to bring, and that is what you guys are helping me to do that. So thank you so much for everybody who has been writing, liking, sharing, and people who are not writing but yet they are writing on my GChat. They connect with me personally on GChat, and then they are doing it. So thank you so much. Now before we begin, the reason I came up with this video right now, because I think 2 days ago somebody wrote in one of the comment section that do you really think that people like us can make it? And that question stuck with me in my head, because when I started the journey of making content for people, initially I used to get comments like, do you really think Dreamport work? Do you really think is like they are legit? Do you think that they pay? Like, is it not like what we are looking online, the negative reviews and everything? And seeing from there where we are now people are no longer questioning me about Dreamport, about about the commission structure, about the first sale. They're not asking me about that. All they're asking is about, do you think that people like us, like because they have learned so much from the content that they know that Dreamport will work for everybody. It's just that we need the right mindset, and I am thankful that I am able to bring that change in each one of you who is watching my videos regularly, and who have been one of the active audiences who have been commenting as well. So the thing is, that's one of the important thing that I see, that because it was not about the first sale, it was not about the commission, it was not even about the first customer. The hardest period I think is the period before all of that, the period where you are really working hard, you are learning constantly, showing up every day, because I'm sure each one of you who is asking for bonus Q videos, y'all will relate to this as well. And still you do not have enough proof that that you can trust yourself, because that's the first trap you're going to talk about, right? Because if you have been through it, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? So that's the first trap, the validation trap that we are actually looking for. So what happens is, when many of us, like you, me, everybody who has joined Dreamport, we always thought that sales was very simple. Customer calls up, you send the codes, they accept it, they book it, and that's it, simple, right? And the sale is done. But in reality, that's not the case, and that's what we've already explored in the first 2 series. And because that's how it looks from outside as well, right? Not about the travel sales, but any sales, that's how it looks. That you go to a shop, customer enters, you give them the product, they pay to you, and that's it, the sale is done. But when the reality begins, for many of us, the first reality or the first loop, the first trap that we get into is the bonus queue, right? Because at first, it doesn't seem difficult because you are new. So you get leads, you do a proper call, you do a proper follow-up, you send them the proper price codes, you update the CMS, you mark the feedback, and then you move on. And because everything is new and you are still learning, it feels exciting, right? Because you feel that every lead is a possibility, every new customer is an opportunity, every voicemail is an opportunity. What if the customer returns to your voicemail as well? And every customer feels like they might be the one that can change everything for you. And then the numbers start growing. We begin with 20 leads, then we move to 30 leads, then we move to 40 leads, then 50, and then 100, and then 200, and then maybe even more than that, and before you realize it, like I said, you're working through hundreds of leads, right? You do the same process: open the lead, send the price options, search the fare, prepare the quotes for the customer, send them an email, leave a voicemail, send them a follow-up email, update the CMS, and then move to the next lead, and then repeat the same process again and again and again. And sometimes, what happens in this trap, what we also do is, because I have personally done that as well, you stop adding markup also, because you feel maybe the customer would see, this cheapest fare, and he would reply to my email, he would reply to my call, or he would reply to my voicemail, and I may have an opportunity of a sale as well. So we stop even adding the markup, because that's the loop that we get into, right? Because that's how the process is, unfortunately, because unless we get the customer online, we cannot do nothing, we cannot do anything. And then just like that, you are getting into that trap. And that's what we feel. Maybe this customer will be different, maybe this lead will be different, and the next and the next. And the strange thing about this stage is that actually we are incredibly busy, but emotionally we are empty, because the thing is, we are talking all day, but nobody is talking us back. We are sending quotes, but then nobody is replying to us, right? And then all of a sudden, it's like we are following the process, but then you do not see the outcome. Like, we don't see the outcome because there's nobody who can tell us that we are doing right or wrong. And after a while, that CMS, that dashboard, that lead, that phone call, that voicemail, everything just looks just the same, because nobody is responding, and you feel like you are just talking to the system. Like, you're sitting there all day for 8 hours, and there was not a single person who lifted the phone, there was not a single person who said hello to you, and yet you were busy for the whole day, but emotionally you were all empty, because there was nobody to validate, there was nobody to show you that you were actually doing the correct thing. Now what happens is, the minute everything starts looking as the same, and there is nothing that is happening that we can measure, and eventually what happens, we stop asking when will somebody answer, and rather we start asking, am I actually getting better? Then the self-doubt begins, which is the first trap that we get into, which looms to a larger picture, which we are going to discuss in the longer run as well. Then one fine day, all of a sudden a customer answers, and then we have that all renewed energy and everything, because now the customer has answered not for 30 seconds, but it was like a full conversation, maybe like 10 minutes or 15 minutes or maybe 7 minutes or maybe 5 minutes, but it was a conversation where you felt a validation, like you felt that they are asking questions, you're answering them, the conversation is flowing, all that you have learned in training, finally you've got the chance to apply that, and then suddenly something changes. Not because you have made a sale, basically you've not yet made a sale here, right? But because for the first time, everything you have been learning actually is starting to feel real, right? Why it starts feeling real? Because now you have evidence. Now you have an evidence that your training was real, your process was real, your customer was real. Even though there is not a sale yet, but you finally have something you've been looking for. Evidence, right? Evidence that people will talk if you keep trying, evidence that customers are real if we keep following the bonus queue, evidence that we are not spending all this time learning something useless. And sometimes that first meaningful conversation feels bigger than a sale, because it proves you are moving. And then comes another strange phase. Finally what happens is, now you finally get that opportunity that you've been waiting for. The customer has agreed to everything, and he tells you that call me after like 15 minutes or call me after 20 minutes and let's do the booking. and then automatically again we freeze, because now we see that there's an opportunity of creating a sale. In that in that frozen moment, we immediately rush to our supervisor that I have a customer who's going to take a ticket, can you please help me right away, can we just help, can we just ask the expert to add the option, can we find something better, and everything. We start imagining all the situations, we freeze, what if the customer asks me this. So we start over preparing ourselves, because we don't want to make that mistake, since this opportunity has come after a long wait. Because you also need to understand, wanting the opportunity and feeling ready for the opportunity are two very different things, and most people discover this throughout the time, throughout the conversation. And now that customer is no longer just a customer, because that customer has become our hope, it has become the proof, and that customer becomes our breakthrough as well. I think, and that's where silently the pressure enters into the agent's mind, because not that our supervisor, our advisor, mentor, colleague, anybody is not putting a pressure on us that we have to make a sale, but now we have attached that meaning to the outcome. That is what I've been explaining in series 1 and series 2. Do not attach the meaning to the outcome, but that's how subtly we are attaching the meaning to the outcome. And I have seen it happen, countless times. I have myself done that. Even after, speaking to you guys, I still do sometimes, because I'm also human after all, right? And finally a customer, answers after weeks, and you think that this could be it. This is the reality moment, This is where the customer now again asks you something that you do not have. So now the customers want a non-stop flight for a very cheaper price, or they want a fare that has disappeared 3 days ago, or they want something that you cannot actually, that the market itself is not offering. And then they say that, oh, I'm ready to book the ticket with you. They give you a false hope, and then it vanishes immediately, because, it's not that the customer did something wrong, not that you did something wrong, because the reality did not match the expectation. And this is one of the most painful sides of the sales, because sometimes a customer answers and yet we do not have a sale. And then it gets even harder. Many a times, it has happened with me so many times earlier on. In fact, it happens even now also, if I do not keep a check on the emotions. So customer, he agrees on everything, he agrees the itinerary, he agrees everything, you send him the booking form. And that's it. That's your winning moment, that finally I've made it, I'm doing this sale. But at the booking form, the customer will be like, oh, you know what, I want to ask you something. And then suddenly your energy drops. Not again, because we've been here, we've seen this, but you still go on and you answer. And then the customer says, you know what, let me just think again, let me speak to my wife. Or at times they also say that maybe I will call you later, I have an important work, or they hung up. Sometimes the customer becomes overwhelmed after seeing the booking form, they see a lot of products, and then they become overwhelmed, and then they hung up the phone. And now you are just staring at that laptop, you're just staring at the screen, and you are thinking, what just happened? Because a minute ago there was a booking, a minute ago there was an excitement, a minute ago there was a sale, and all of a sudden everything has gone down to a zero. That entire weeks of preparation that you've been doing, days of preparation that you've been doing for that sale is lost, because right now that almost success moment is actually much harder than a rejection. You were so close, yet the sale drifted away. In fact, you will also see one of those examples in the same series in episode 8, where I have mentioned that how I invested almost close to 5 hours with a customer. We had a sale and then we lost it. Again, we got it back. That's a different story though. But that's what, it happens. That everything becomes real, and then in a minute, everything goes in vain. And then there's another challenge which appears, because you see people moving forward, you see congratulations message in the team, you see recognition, you see people moving to a higher grade, you see people, people being praised in the newsletters that we get every month, from Dreamport, that people are making sales, so much is making from the bonus queue, this, that, everything. So you are seeing everybody progressing, and only you are there, because then you start asking, when will be my turn? What is it that I am not seeing and these people are seeing? What am I missing? Why am I standing still and others are progressing? And that's where your first procrastination about yourself, about this platform not working, enters. And I think this is where it becomes the biggest knowledge gap, because people think sales is about talking. It's not about sending codes. It's not about booking forms. But the biggest challenge is understanding why customers behave the way they do. Why do you have one customer ask the same questions 5 times? Why do they disappear after sounding interest? Why do they ask for the cheapest flight option and then they reject cheapest flight option also? Why, they need so and so? And that's what we are exploring in the series 3, which is currently going on. And that's the time that you realize that every customer is different fear, different priorities, different decision making styles, different reasons for hesitating. And the moment you stop asking what did the customer do and you start asking why did the customer do, and that's where everything begins to change for you, because that is what we are actually trying to come up with, trying to do in the series of understanding the psychological nuances behind every reasoning. And if I am being completely honest, this is exactly the phase where people start quitting, not because of one bad day, because doubts start piling up, because you see others progressing, you don't see yourself progressing, you hear the negativity, you hear people saying it doesn't work, you also see sometimes mass emails, people say that, oh, I'm resigning, it is so bad, blah, blah, blah. And then of course you go online, people again talk negative about it. Your family starts asking questions, your friends start asking questions that what are you doing? It's been so many weeks, it's been months, you're not earning anything, why are you still staying there? And I think because money is the easiest thing to measure, people start measuring their entire progress through income, which is dangerous because growth and income don't always arrive at the same time. And let me tell you, when confidence is low, negativity sounds much louder than it should. And that's why I think so many people leave, not because they proved they couldn't do it, but because they stopped collecting proof that they could. Now, let me tell you, I remember something similar happened to me. In fact, I had mentioned this in one of the long videos of the invoice videos where I revealed my paychecks and everything. Ironically, like I mentioned, my first sale happened in the first 3 days of the nesting. But after that, there was a 2 weeks gap. There was nothing. And I was sitting silent and I thought that the sale was out of sheer luck. I was also on the same phase. I wanted to leave. I just had that, conversation with my supervisor where he mentioned that, Arpita, it's not that the sale is not rewarding you. It's just that you forgot to repeat everything that you were doing on the first call. And I think that conversation made a huge difference. And, I would like to give a big shout out to my supervisors, Lupin and Ocean both, because they have been with me, they have stood with me throughout the thick and thin, and they have understood what I'm really looking at. And, they have always guided me in the correct direction. And that's the best part about Dreamport, that people out here are so helpful. You just need to ask for help and they will be always available for you. And I think that's exactly, I learned there that sales will always reward the repetition. And the more you repeat, the more opportunities you create for success, right? And one day when repetition starts paying you back, trust me, you would not want to go back as well. And today I do, because even after years, I also have slow months. In fact, I will just show you invoices that, even after spending 3 years at Dreamport, you all think that I must be making $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 every month. No, that's not the case. I also have slow months right now, like where I just make $300, $390 as well. Not because I forgot how to make the sale, but because that stagnancy, sometimes it hits me also. It's not that I make, I tell people not to do this, but I am also doing that because I am human in the end. And I have no, qualms in talking about it. In fact, I'll also tell you, in one of these, thing where I was so desperate about the sale, I made an error, and then I got a chargeback of almost 7,000 Canadian dollars. Now, the easiest way was, to quit, but I did not quit. I paid that entire chargeback from my, gross profit, and I stayed. And after that, I have made invoices of 4,000, 7,000, and so on and on. So it's that, that is what I want to tell you, that don't be so desperate that you start making mistakes and then you have to pay up. Because I have learned from my lessons, and you have so many lessons that I can tell you that you all can learn from it. So just give me a moment. Let me just show you my slow months invoice. So you see, even after spending 3 years at Dreamport, you see the invoice 392. And it's not that something has changed here, but at the same time, if you see here, now this is the next month invoice, which is 1687 something, I guess. 1642. So it's not that this one month, I forgot to make sales or I did not know how to make sales. It's just that, I also have the same slow months. So it's not that, something will change if you, progress to a senior level. People have this tendency that if I leave the bonus queue, once I go to the senior floor, I will not have to experience these things again. You do experience the same things again, because it's not that, it's not that you are really good at everything, but sometimes that's how the sales are. So that's the last trap, that people feel that they have this misconception that once they move from bonus queue stage to a senior stage, they will not work on BQs and everything. No, that's not the case. Even in senior stage, we also work on BQ, because when your conversion is low, what do? In order to get your conversion effective, you have to work on BQ. Because you know what, the thing is, the uncertainty doesn't disappear whether you move in senior stage or you move in the nesting or BQ or whatever it is. But the uncertainty doesn't disappear, but it changes the shape. Every stage has challenges, every stage has doubts, and every stage has slow periods. The goal is not to reach a stage where uncertainty disappears. The goal is to learn how to keep moving while uncertainty is still there. And I think that's why I don't think the biggest challenge is learning how to make a sale. Rather, I think the biggest challenge is learning how to trust the process before you have enough evidence to trust yourself, because eventually something changes. You stop chasing certainty, you stop chasing validation, all the 5 traps that I've just spoken about. You stop chasing every day by results, like you stop measuring every day by results, that how many sales have I clocked in and everything. You start focusing on repetition, because growth, repetition, learning, improvement, these are all the things that eventually is going to pay you off. One conversation at a time, one customer at a time, one lesson at a time, one experience at a time. And eventually, the question changes. It stops being, can I do this? And it becomes, how far can I go? And that's what my audience is actually writing now in the comments, that how far can we go? Can you be our mentor? Can you be our guide? And so on and on. Because I think that's where the next chapter begins for us as well, because every agent experiences uncertainty, every agent experiences pressure, every agent experiences self-doubt, but not every agent responds that in the same way. And that's exactly what we are exploring next, which is the inside the mind of an agent, because I don't want you all to make mistakes that I have made in the past. Like I said, I have also got a chargeback as well of 7,000 Canadian dollars. So I know in desperation what all I have done, and that's why today I'm here talking. And that's what I wanted to also know, because there are people who have wrote in online platforms like LinkedIn or somewhere, I have read that they give you a chargeback. They don't give you a chargeback just out of the blue. If you make a mistake, you need to be responsible enough to handle that mistake, to own that mistake and learn from it. I made a mistake. I knew it was not the platform's fault. I knew it was not the company's fault. It was my fault, because it was my desperation to close that sale, and I ended up making a mistake. So if I can make a mistake, if I can make thousands from this platform, I can also pay back, because if I am making a mistake. So that's one thing that we are going to explore next, which is inside the agent's mind. That is going to be series 4. So please stay tuned, like, share, comment, subscribe, and please let me know in this video what is that one loop that you actually got connected with, either the bonus queue loop, the self-doubt, or the first meaningful conversation, or the feeling that you are not moving forward, or the sale trap. So thank you so much for watching my video. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and we'll meet again in the next one.